Hello students, today we are going to learn the last story from section 4 and the story is 4.4, the sign of 4. Look at the title of the novel, the sign of 4. Though this is a novel, we are going to study some extracts from the novel, central idea, theme, plot, that is story of the novel. Before we start the novel, we will get some introduction about the writer of the novel. And writer is Sir Arthur Ignatius Conan Doyle. He was a British writer who created the character of Sherlock Holmes. You know, in the history of British literature, Sherlock Holmes became very, very popular among the readers. The Sherlock Holmes stories are generally considered milestones in the field of crime fiction. The Sign of 4 is the second novel of Arthur Conan Doyle, in which Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson solve the mystery of hidden treasure and murder. Let us see the characters in the novel. Of course, they are major characters. And the first one is Sherlock Holmes, the detective. His companion, Mary Morton, who was the heir of the treasure. Then Thaddeus Sholto, another character. Toby, John Watson, that is Dr. Watson, the friend of Sherlock Holmes. Major Sholto is also there. And Tonga, a small pygmy. We will see the detail of the story. So these are the characters, and let us go to the main story. First, we'll see the outline of the story. Holmes and Dr. Watson are engaged in a discussion, and as they were in discussion, Mary Morton, a young woman, visits the two at their place. She comes there to get help from them. She tells them about her father's disappearance. Father had lost somewhere some 10 years ago. She began receiving a large pearl in the mail on the same day of every year. As she tells the detectives that she is receiving the pearl, very costly, precious pearl, every year on the same date. Mary Morton has received a letter instructing her to go with the accompaniment of two friends to Lyceum Theatre. Means after 6 years, she receives a letter in which it was written that she should accompany with other two friends, but she should not contact the policeman. She should accompany the two friends to the Lyceum Theatre. Some injustice has been done to her, as it was mentioned in the letter, and somebody had made injustice to her. Holmes and Watson agreed to accompany Mary Morton. Watson and Mary are attracted to another, means there is a love affair, and Watson falls in love with Mary Morton. This is one of the sub-themes, sub-stories of the novel. When the trio, means three people, Holmes, Watson and Mary, they are heading to the Lyceum Theatre, they are whisked away in a darker carriage to a strange house. Means they are taken to a strange house. There they find Thaddeus Sholto, an eccentric gentleman, very strange gentleman. Sholto tells about Mary's father's death, and she is a partial heir to a great hidden treasure. Means that Major Thaddeus Sholto tells Holmes and Watson about Mary's father's death, and also adds that Mary is a partial heir, partial benefactor to a great hidden treasure. Sholto's father lived in fear of men with wooden legs. Means Sholto's father always feared the people who were having wooden legs. The elder Sholto, means Sholto's father, revealed to his sons the existence of the treasure. But as soon as he saw the face of the bearded man in the window, he suffered a fatal heart attack and he died on the spot. The next morning, a note was found affixed to his body and it read the sign of 4. After many years, the treasure was discovered in a hidden attic small room in the family house. The brothers' father, Miss Sholto, elder Sholto, made them swear they would share the treasure with Mary Morstan, who has some unknown claim in the fortune. Thaddeus requests the three, Holmes, Watson and Mary, to accompany him to the family estate where they will divide up the fortune. There they find a shaken housekeeper, means very frightened housekeeper, who told about Bartholomew who had not come from his locked room. Holmes and Watson peer through the keyhole of the room. They saw the unnatural grinning face leering, that is looking at them. As they broke down the door, they found the body of Bartholomew, a poison thorn lodged in his neck. Holmes concludes that two persons, one of them had a wooden leg, committed the crime. They had murdered Bartholomew, and there might be two persons, and one of them might be having wooden leg. The second person was an interesting individual, which they could not guess at that time. They wanted to investigate further. The murderers have stolen the Agra treasure. They realized. Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes conclude that the murderers have stolen the Agra treasure, and the wooden-legged man stepped in to creosote during his escape. What is creosote? Creosote means oily liquid. He stepped in the oily liquid, and Holmes and Watson borrow a dog to follow the scent of these criminals because they wanted to catch the criminals. The search leads them to the edge of the Thames River. Finally, they went there, and the two criminals hired a boat. Holmes recruits Baker Street irregulars, that is a gang of urchins, mischievous children, to search the boat. Holmes makes a search and discovers the boat. The name of the boat is the Aurora, has been camouflaged. Camouflage means it was just covered with leaves or other things so that it cannot be identified easily. Holmes, Watson and several officers pursue, that is chase the Aurora in a police barge. They found a wooden-legged captain and a small pygmy native from the Andaman Islands. The native attempted to shoot Holmes with a blowpipe. The native was a pygmy, small man. He tried to attempt to shoot Holmes with a blowpipe, but in reaction, Holmes and Watson, they had guns. They shoot him down. The wooden-legged man is entrapped and captured. His name was Jonathan Small. The wooden-legged man was Jonathan Small. He was brought to Baker Street along with an iron box. Captain Small was a fortress, that is, the guard of the fort when he was in, that is, gatekeeper in India. Three Arab guards approached him and offered a share in a great fortune if he would help them murder the man who carried it. Means three Arab guards wanted to steal the Agra treasure from the man who had taken it, who had carried it with him, and they wanted to take the help of that Small, that is Captain Small. The three Arabs murdered the man who carried Agra treasure as a Captain Small blocked his escape. Means Captain Small helped the three Arabs to murder the man who had brought Agra treasure. The four conspirators, the three Arabs and Captain Small, hid the treasure. Soon they were arrested for the murder of the emissary, that is messenger. Captain Small was sent to penal colony on the Andaman Island. He was sent on lifetime imprisonment jail. There Small managed to befriend a native called Tonga, who became his loyal companion, loyal friend of the Captain Small. Small bribed two of the guards, that is one Sholto and other Morster, that is Mary's father. They were guards in that jail and into helping his escape. He offers them a share in the fortune. The two agreed and Sholto left back to bring the treasure. Small thinks that Sholto had betrayed him, that is cheated him, Gaddari karna in Hindi, betrayed him and escaped from the island with Tonga. After many years, Small had tracked down Sholto and arrived in a time to see him die. After the death, Small affixes the note on the body of Sholto, the sign of 4. Here we come to know that Captain Small had attached the note on Sholto's body, and the note was read like the sign of 4. The sign of 4 is a reference to Captain Small and three Arab friends, that is companions. When Small returned to the Sholto estate, Tonga murdered Bartholomew and the two, Small and Tonga, stole the treasure. Here Captain Small concludes what happened that time. He concludes he threw the treasure overboard, that is from the boat, in the course of chase on the Thames by the detectives and police. Small is taken to prison. Watson proposes to marry Mary Morton. So this is the story, central idea. Wait for the part 2.